Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday evening Facebook Live. My name is Sarah Edwards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I come to you guys live every Tuesday and Thursday to show you a fun new project. So hopefully you guys had a good day. I spent most of the day out into the studio. I finished the prep for Saturday's card class. I still have, I think, 3 or 4 extra kits. So if anybody's schedule has freed up and you're able to come, please definitely send me a message and I will get you on the list. So I finished that and I got the craft room tidied up just a tad bit. I do have to work tomorrow morning, so I won't be out here at all tomorrow. But I think I got a lot accomplished today. So hopefully you guys have had a great day as well. If you're just logging on, say hi so I know you're here. I haven't heard it bing or ding or whatever it's called on my iPad, so hopefully we are live. Okay, I just heard it go off. Good evening, Jill. Welcome. So today's project is, I love doing fun folds. I know I'm kind of all over the place today. I love doing fun folds, and this one is actually super duper easy. They really all are. It's just a matter of having the specific dimensions and how to cut and how to score your designer series paper and cardstock. So that is what I'm going to show you tonight is a fun fold, and I'm using I think it's a wash. I forget the designer series paper. Hold on, it's sitting right here. A Wash and Beauty designer series paper. And I think this card would look beautiful with any of our designer series paper. And I brought in the Celebration Tags, Celebrate with Tags bundle, because I really liked how big and bold that happy birthday is. And I loved the balloons. I love balloons. So I pulled that set in to make this card. So good evening, Marie. Good evening, Darlene, Heather, Anna, Valerie. Hello, everybody. Okay, so let's point you over because hopefully we will get through all 3 of the cards we're going to be doing tonight. I'm just going to triple check and make sure we're live on my iPad. Oh, I need to turn my volume down because I didn't sleep very well last night and I was up watching Netflix. So I forgot to turn the volume down. Hello, good evening, Barbara. Okay, so this is the stamp set that I brought in and the dies. So when you get the dies, they are actually really long and it makes these fun tags. Vicky was actually making a ton of these at the July retreat. But it has the circles, it has a heart on it, and I actually thought the heart would be absolutely beautiful on this card that I'm doing as well. And then it has the candles. It is just a fun set that you don't technically have to make tags with if you don't want to. So I brought in, oh, where's the balloon? Oh, there it is. So I brought in this little balloon, and it does have the matching stamp that goes with the balloon. So you can stamp it and then cut it out. We're actually using the stamped version in card class on Saturday. But for this card, I didn't want to take away from the designer series paper, so I chose not to stamp it, just to die cut out in the cardstock. So this is the set we're using on page 67 of your mini catalog. Good evening, Jessica. How are you? So let me bring in the Awash in Beauty Designer Series paper. I've used this a couple times for a Facebook Live, and I just thought this paper was absolutely beautiful for this card. Oh, look how gorgeous that is. You could definitely fussy cut that out and make that the focal points. Oh, love it. We're actually using this designer series paper with it. Oh, it's just all absolutely gorgeous. Love, love, love all of our designer series paper. So this is in the annual catalog. This is in the big catalog, the designer series paper, and the stamp set is in the occasion. Okay, so let me bring in the stamp set first. So here's the stamp set. You can have the mitten cut out if you wanted to with the hearts made with love. Here's the balloon. This is the happy birthday that I'm using, and there's a big Merry Christmas in there as well. So let's bring in the card. So this is the card we're going to be making. So it opens and you have lots of room to write your sentiment on the inside, even though we put a little strip on the edge, but it is definitely a fun fold. And I didn't stamp the balloons before I put them on here, just because I didn't want it to take away from the beautiful designer series paper. You definitely could stamp those in the same colors or use a little bit of Wink of Stella on here, but that is the card we're going to be making tonight. So let's see, who else is logged on? Hello, Carol. Yes, Heather, it is absolutely gorgeous. Hello, Lisa. I think I've caught everybody. Good evening. I'm so happy you guys have joined. Okay, so let's bring in all of the goodies that we're going to need. So this is a piece of our thick basic white, and it measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it twice. I scored it at 1.5 and 4.25, and that is what's going to make this little fun fold mechanism. I was trying to think of the right word, mechanism. So there's that, so I can take the sticky note off. You are going to need 3 pieces of designer series paper. Sorry, I'm trying to pick them up and my fingernails aren't letting me. So you need 3 pieces of designer series paper. So the first one is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 by 5.25. And these two are the exact same size. They're 1.25 by 5.25. So you can get, I think it is 5 or 6 of these cards out of 1 sheet of designer series paper. So there's your designer series paper. Then you are going to need coordinating cardstock. This one measures 2.5 by 3. And then the basic white is 2 3/4 by 2.25. So these are just layering together. I did put all of these dimensions up before I went live, so you don't have to worry about writing them down. I went ahead and tied a bow already, and I just cut out 3 of our balloons. And I just did it in the coordinating colors from the designer series paper. So that is all you need to create this fun card. Okay, so let's get scoring or folding and scoring. So we're going to fold the card in half. Make sure it's lined up at the edges. Bring in your bone folder. Does anybody else's bone folders look like this? It's because I re-ink our ink pads and it stains the bone folder. And then this 1.5 inch piece, we're just going to fold that back. Make sure it's lined up and give that a good crease. There is your mechanism. Pretty easy, right? So I'm going to go ahead and fold this open because I'm going to go ahead and put the designer series paper. Oh, and look, I cut that a little bit too big. I'm going to have to go get my trimmer. Let me grab my trimmer really quick. I'll just talk to you while I'm walking into my craft room because it's hanging right on my wall. So I might need to fix those dimensions unless I just cut this wrong. Nope, I cut it right. So it's supposed to be 2.5 inches. We're probably going to have to cut all of them. So I apologize. That's 2.5 inches by 5.25. And that is going to line up right in the corner. And yep, I did that wrong. And I shouldn't have because I really just made this a little bit ago. I really didn't make it this morning like I usually do. You have to get the little booger out of the glue. Okay, now I think it'll work. So we're just going to put some adhesive on the back side. And I'm just going to lay this right, kind of making sure I have a nice border around. And then we're going to flip this back. And I chose to do the opposite side in the front. Let me bring this in again. So the flowers is, and then the opposite side is the mossy meadow. So I did them kind of opposite, just to give it a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the flower part of that side. And I'm going to put that right in the middle. And then our last piece is going to go right here on the edge. This is definitely a duplicatable fun fold. And there you go. Super easy, right? So So when you open it, you can see both sides of the designer series paper. So I'm going to set that aside for a quick second, and I'm going to bring in our Mary Merlot. I actually don't use Mary Merlot very often, so I did have to re-ink it for this. So hopefully it's not too juicy. So I'm going to ink up the happy birthday. And I'm just going to come down here. It is a nice tight squeeze. I did not leave much room for this one, and it looks perfect. Close that back up, and I started with the actually, let's glue this down first. Just going to put some adhesive on the back, and I glued this down before I put the balloons on because I put the balloon right up at the top of the cardstock. So there's that. So let's grab some dimensionals. I'm going to put a dimensional right in the center, and this one is going to go right up to the very tippy top. And then flip these guys over, put a dimensional on here. And this one, let's start on this side first. I'm just going to come down a hair, but kind of overlapping a tiny bit. And then this one can go right on this side. And I do have my handy dandy Wink of Stella that I thought I would just color these just to give it a little bit of dimension. I think I might be running out of the Wink of Stella. Well, there might still be enough in here. Do you guys put Wink of Stella on everything? I never used to, and then my friend Jessica gave me her extra one, and now I'm in love with it. Okay, so now this is going to go on the front of your card. But the trick to this guy is you don't want to put adhesive all over the back. I actually used some of the Terran tape just so I wouldn't accidentally put glue all over it. So you're just going to make sure that that it's the right side up, and I'm just going to put a strip down the center. If I didn't do this, I would have accidentally put glue all over it. Yes, Jessica, I was going to say that, but I refrained. So now the tear tape is just where I want it to be, and now I can set this in the center. There we go. And I thought it needed a little bit of bling. I think all of us ladies love diamonds, but I didn't have a Mary Merlot blender pen. I actually need to see if I'm missing it or if I don't even know if they have it. So I brought in the dark Mossy Meadow because there is Mossy Meadow in the designer series paper. And I'm just going to color the rhinestones with the Mossy Meadow. You just want to be gentle when you're using your tip of your marker, that you don't smash it too hard because it'll ruin your tip. And then, oh, I think my little poker is up top. Nope, that's not it. We'll just use scissors. You're going to just lift up. And I'm just going to put a little gem on each side. There we go. And then we can't forget about our bow. I brought in the pool party ribbon. Everybody got a bolt of this at the retreat, so hopefully, well, I hope you have used a lot of it, but I thought it actually kind of paired well with the balmy blue that's in the designer series paper, so that's why I went ahead and chose that. I already tied the bow, so I'm just going to put a mini glue dot on the back of it, and I'm going to put this right in the center. There you go. Your card is absolutely done, and it was super easy, and you could definitely put another saying on the inside if you wanted to, but I just loved the way it looked. Okay, let's make another one. Let's do, we can't have a Facebook Live without a hot pink. So we are going to do polished pink. It's sitting right beside me, and I still couldn't read it. So we're just going to fold this in half. And I'm sure I'm going to have to trim down my designer series paper because I cut it a little bit too big. Fold this guy back. Let's make sure that I did any uppers. But that's an easy fix. So just know in the dimensions, it says it's 2 3/4, but it's really supposed to be 2 1/2. You'll actually figure it out when you go to put your card together and realize that it doesn't fit. You're like, oh, yep, I remember. Oh, see, there's the other side of that. I remember Sarah saying that she messed it up. So this is going to go there. Flip this over. It doesn't matter which one you take because these two are the same size. Put that right in the center. And I love green glue because it gives you that little bit of wiggle room to make sure it is even. Now I do keep this side closed just to make sure that I'm getting it centered right. There we go. Perfection, almost done. I do want to clean this stamp so I don't cross-contaminate my colors. So just give me 1 second. I have another Mary Merlot and I probably should have did that one first, but that's okay. So bring in the polished pink, and I just re-inked this guy as well, so hopefully he's not too juicy. Come down here, stamp it right at the bottom. I'm going to see if I can scoot that down a tad bit. That's okay. That's why there's always 2 sides to your paper, is because if you don't like one, you can flip it over, and I think I'm going to stick with that one. That one's a little bit straighter than the other side. But I really don't think anybody would notice, just us. So let's glue this down. And then we're going to flip over our balloons. Excuse me. Put dimensionals. And you could really do a bouquet of balloons as well. I just did a smidgen of a bouquet, but you could definitely do more balloons if you wanted to. There we go. We will grab this is the polished pink ribbon. And I already tied the bows, and I just had my mini glue dots, but they have vanished. So I'll just grab the other one that's sitting up there. It's probably sitting right here in front of me. I'm sure that never happens to anybody else. Like literally, I just had it 3 seconds ago. It's in that safe spot. We all have one. Okay. So I just want to make sure that the tear tape isn't sticking off. And now we can put this down. There we go. And hopefully, I did not bring the polished pink, but that's okay. We're just going to use the Mossy Meadow, and we're going to color some rhinestones again. I guess I could have done this all in the beginning. And I didn't want to go too crazy, even though those aren't words we usually say, is going too crazy on diamonds. But I just wanted a little bit of a bling on there. There you go. There is card number 2. And we have one left. And it's the same Mary Merlot. But I need 11 birthday cards to send out this month. So I just now have 4 done. So I only have to make a few more. So the cards that we're making tonight are going out into the mail first thing tomorrow. And I'm sure I'm going to have to cut this. I'm not even going to triple check. I'm just going to slide it in, take a little smidgen off, and glue this down. So if you have a September birthday, you might be getting something that looks similar to this in the mail. Not giving anything away though. I will get at least 4 of them out in the mail tomorrow, and then hopefully the rest on Thursday. I won't get out into the craft room at all tomorrow because I work all day. Work is getting into the way of our crafting life. So there we go. And then just do a smidgen of stamping. It's not even much at all. I'm not closing the lid on this guy. For some reason, I could not get it closed earlier. When I opened it, it would not close. So I don't want to wear Mary Merlot like I did earlier. So I'm not closing that bad boy. He is staying open. Let's glue this down. Perfect. We can grab, oh, I should tell you a little secret on the balloons. 9 times out of 10, you really can't cut 2 pieces of cardstock at one time in your machine, but this one let me. So I was able to cut 2 of each of these balloons at one time. So you don't have to do them individually. So if you're doing 11 cards, then it might make it a little bit faster being able to cut 2 at a time. And I'll do the Wink of Stella on them later. Let's grab our bow. Put that right in the center. Flip this over. And I definitely recommend just grabbing a piece of your tear and tape and doing this part. Otherwise, you're going to get distracted and busy and put glue on the whole thing. And then it will glue your whole card shut, which is okay. If that happens, I would not throw it away. I would still send it out to somebody and just have a good little giggle. Okay, there you go. That is how easy these fun folds are. And I use the Celebration of Tags die, Celebrate with Tags. So that is where the balloons came from. Let's put them in some sort of an order so you guys can see all of them. And it's just something different and definitely a wow card. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed your live tonight. That didn't take any time at all. Literally, I try to stick with about 30 minutes of doing a Facebook Live because I mean, it's now back to school season, so parents are getting their kids' homework done and dinner and shower and bed. So I do try to stick within a 30-minute little budget time frame. And we were only 22 minutes today, so that worked out really well. So hopefully you guys had a great day and you enjoyed your live, and hopefully you guys get out there, put the kids to bed, and go play in your craft room. I say that that's a must. Put the kids to bed, put the husband to bed, and go play in your craft room. Anyway, I will be back on Thursday for another fun Facebook Live. So definitely join me on Thursday. And Saturday is card class. I do have a few extra spots if anybody wants to come and do card class. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. Bye-bye.